Hey there, Michelle. What's going on?
Not too much, Lindsay. Not too much. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Guys, we are also on video today. So check us out on YouTube if you want to see the recording of this episode. What's new in your world, Michelle?
Well, I don't know. I feel like I know a lot of people who are like getting in more serious relationships nowadays.
Oh, do you think that has
Yeah.
something to do with what we've just been through in the world, or is that
Mm,
just coincidence?
I don't know. Good question. Maybe it does have something to do with that. Maybe people want to get out and about. But you know
Yeah.
what's funny? I just realized that expression, a serious relationship. What? Like that sounds like so like what does that mean,
It sounds
Lindsay?
weird. It sounds like what we're going to be serious, like not smile, not laugh.
Yeah, it sounds so weird, but what is a serious relationship?
A serious relationship is when this could be someone you could marry or date long term, right? So that's a
Mhm.
serious relationship. It doesn't start off serious, right?
Mhm.
So I guess some relationships might, but that's kind of weird when it's immediately serious. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Lindsay, do you get excited when someone you're close to starts a serious relationship?
I do. I feel like it's been a while. Most of the people that I'm close to are married at this point or and have kids and all this stuff. They're kind of on the other side of those things. But when I was younger, yeah, I would say I was, yeah, excited. And I always wondered, like, is this the person
Yeah.
for this person? Is
Yes.
this person's
Yes.
person? Right.
It's hard not to wonder, like whether
Yeah.
it's like right or wrong. It's hard
Yeah.
not to be like, oh, like,
I know. It really is. Yeah. And then, but you have to be careful not to share too much with them because then they might
right.
put pressure on it or,
Right.
oh,
Right. You don't want to come on too strong about like,
yeah.
your friend's relationship or your family member's relationship. You kind of have to play it cool as a spectator.
Exactly. Have we done? I mean, we have done a couple of other episodes.
Love episodes. Yeah.
What do we do in 590? We talked about how to get engaged. Oh my gosh. And I remember this one
A
because
listener.
a listener sent
Yep.
us a picture of him and he had just proposed to his fiance and there was a picture of the two of them with a sign that said thank you all ears English because he listened to
Aw.
this and I think he proposed in English to her.
Oh,
That was
yeah, I remember
amazing.
that. I remember that was so great. So, guys,
Yes.
that was 590. Then we also have, I mean, we have a ton of episodes
We talk about
about
love.
love.
Yeah.
Yes, but we also have episode 54, way back in the beginning. It was an
Mhm.
interview with Fluency MC. So that was English with Fluency MC, how to find love on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and there are more too. If you just type love into the search bar at allearsenglish.com, I'm sure, guys, you will find more episodes. But, guys, we want to take just a minute to remind you that there's one crucial thing you have to do to make sure you don't miss a single episode of All Ears English, right, Michelle? What is it?
Yes. Well, you have to hit follow, right?
Hello.
It takes 2 seconds to hit follow, maybe
Yes,
really less than 2 seconds. So
less
just
than two. It's so easy.
boop, right? Just hit it now. And
Exactly.
also share this podcast with someone special, right? Tell
Mhm.
someone special who would like the show to listen to it. And especially it would be great if it was someone maybe you're in a new relationship with or something
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
Someone really special.
Or if you have a friend who's just in a new relationship that you are excited about
All
for them,
right.
you could also share this with them. And we're going to learn all about how to talk about this today.
Yeah.
Is this the one, right? The one.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
let's get into it. So guys, go ahead, hit follow and then go to your text message and share All Ears English with someone special. Okay, Michelle.
Right. Right. So at a certain point, people do start to speculate and wonder if people will make it official. And we're going to talk about that expression in a second,
Yeah.
which I think we may have used that type of expression on 1139, which is one more episode, which is what to call your partner in English. So listen to that one as well.
Yeah.
So, but what expressions can we use to talk about these exciting, blossoming relationships?
Well, that's a good phrase too. Blossoming is a good one. That's a great one. Like a flower blossoms, right? It's a little bit of a cliche for sure, but it is commonly used, right? As an adjective to describe a relationship that I was just going to say blooming too.
Yeah, right.
What happens before, is it blossoming happens before blooming or vice versa? I don't know.
I
Good question. Like in terms of the life cycle of a flower.
Yeah. I don't know. Lindsay, this is
Oh, this
like
is
what
one
we
of
were
those
talking about. Yep.
questions. Yep. Okay. If you guys
Good
heard that
example.
episode, you know what we're talking about. Moving on then in that case. All right. So what can we say when we think that this relationship might have potential?
Right. So one of the words that we use to describe, these relationship is the word it, right? So you might hear somebody say like, this is it, or do you think this is it? What? Like what?
Right?
What is it? Yeah. What is it, Lindsay?
I mean, these are big words, right? So it is the relationship. So these words that we're going to learn today, these are very big focal points. It is the center of a sentence, the center of a conversation. The one is the next one. We'll get into that in a minute. But what I'm trying to say is think about like the importance that we place on that one person in our culture. You know what I mean? Like meeting that one person. Not everyone thinks about it in that way, that there is one person, right? Some people think they could be happy with many people. I'm sure they could, right? But we put a lot of importance on this in our culture, finding the right person.
Right. So when you say like, for example, they've been dating for a year, I think this is it.
It means
it means I think this is the person that I think this will be a permanent relationship, whether it means marriage, whether maybe you don't want to get married, you want to just you want to have a partner for a long-term forever or whatever makes you happy. But I think this is it. It's like I think this is going to be that long-term relationship.
Exactly. So that's the first phrase. So this is it. It's just amazing how much, and this is also, perpetuated in our movies, our rom-coms. It's just, it's everywhere. Music. Oh my gosh. It's everywhere in our culture. Everywhere. Sometimes I wish it wasn't that, strong in our culture. I wish that we could just chill out a little bit and not build our whole lives around finding that one person, it's kind of silly.
It's always like, where is this going? Where is it? And like, there's never like this feeling of kind of like, just like being like, okay, I'm just happy in this moment.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, next one, guys, the one, right? And if you watch any rom-com, you're going to hear all these, of course.
Oh yeah.
They are perfect. Yeah. She's definitely the one. Okay.
Right.
So here, this is like you maybe commenting about some other couple that you're seeing, right?
Right. You could call, if you were dating someone, you could say like, oh, he's the one or she's the one. Right. So you could do that. But if like Lindsay and I are talking about our friends, like, oh, do you think she's the one for him or something?
For sure. For sure. All right. What else?
Then we have wind up or end up together.
Yeah. So do you think they'll wind up together? I think it's pretty obvious they will, right? Yes. Wind up. That's a good one that I don't know if we've taught that one to our listeners.
Right. Yes. So what does that mean to wind up together?
So in the end, right? End up in the end, at the end of the day or at the end of life, I guess, you're going to be with this person, right? Or at the end, I guess more at the end of this uncertain time period, right? Because dating in the beginning is very uncertain. You don't know what's going through the other person's head. They could be dating 5 other people and you don't know it, right? You don't know.
Right.
So.
Oh boy. Yeah, exactly. So it's just like after all the dating, do you think they'll have some sort of happy ending, basically? Like maybe long-term partnership, marriage, whatever it is. So wind up or end up together.
Yes, exactly. And then what else, Michelle?
We have make things official, or you could say make it official. So that could be about a relationship being official. So that we touched on another episode, just like, oh, it's official now. They're boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But also we use it to talk about like, I think getting engaged, getting married. So like, I think they will make it official once he graduates. So it's like a second time of being official, basically.
Right. So in English, when you hear someone say they will make it official, they're obviously talking about their relationship. They're not talking about like a mortgage or something, signing a home contract or buying a car. It is them, is the relationship. So we just have to know that in English, right?
Exactly. And then the last thing goes back to what we were talking about earlier, getting serious, right?
Yes.
Right? Like, wow, things are getting serious. They are inseparable.
Yeah. Michelle, what kind of style do you prescribe to when you first start dating someone and you feel like maybe they're the one, or like you just really enjoy their time with them, spending time with them. Do you go all in at first? Like you're, spending out like every weekend together, every hour of the weekend, or do you like kind of temper it a little bit and kind of hold back and maybe just see them once a week for a month and then twice a week? And do you go gradually into things?
Yeah. Well, I mean, all I can say is with Dan, it was pretty gradual at first, but then I think like at first, because he had school exams and
he was busy. That's good.
And we didn't really like, I lived on the Upper West Side. He lived in Jersey City. So like the distance wasn't that easy to just like, oh, we're going to get together every single day.
Right.
So, but then it, eventually, like a few months into it, we would start spending more time together, and then more, and then more, and then more. And now I'm married for however many years, but like, it wasn't like immediate that we spent all our time together.
Okay. That makes sense. It's kind of how I've been in the past, like a little bit at first, and then you hit a point where you're like, okay, they're over all the time. And then you're just living together. Right.
It just happens. It just happens. That's like one day you're kind of like, and then it's like, all right, well, now we spend all our time together. It's funny how that.
It is interesting. It is interesting. Yeah. So should we go into a little role play here, Michelle, or what should we do here?
Yeah, I think that we should. So here we go.
Okay.
Okay. So we are talking about our friends.
Okay, here we go. I've never seen him so happy.
You think this could be it?
I do. I mean, it's definitely getting serious.
I'm so excited for him. He really deserves to be happy. And, she's so great for him. I bet they make it official by next June.
Oh, for sure. They will end up together.
She's definitely the one.
Yeah. And I've definitely had this conversation. I have a friend who met someone, he was single for a long time and had a couple of not great relationships or just not the right women for him. And then he met a woman and it was just like, boom. And then like a year later, they've got 2 kids. It's like,
oh, wow.
It went fast, not literally a year, but something like that. And it was just, you just knew it. Like, it's like night and day, before and after for him. His life was instantly changed. It was amazing.
That's nice.
It was really nice. Yeah.
All right. We get like kind of these warm, fuzzy feelings when people close to us, find someone that makes them really happy. And so
it's really nice. That's why we love weddings. Like everyone loves going to weddings as long as you're not in the wedding.
Yes. Do you cry at weddings?
I do. I have been known to cry at wedding, and I wouldn't think I would be that person, but I find myself in the audience, like starting to tear up. And I don't know. It's the kind of thing you just can't predict is going to happen to you, but you're like, oh, this is actually beautiful. Happens. Yeah.
I remember they were Dan's friends. I knew them, but like not very well. This is kind of when we were first dating. And for some reason, I don't know why, but it was during the father-daughter dance. I knew the bride, I knew her, not that well, but I knew her. And I didn't know her father. I was hysterically crying.
That's hilarious. That's actually a really funny aspect of weddings I haven't thought about, is that people, I'm not going to say inappropriately, but unexpectedly crying, just at weird times and in weird ways. It's so funny. That's hilarious.
I have another one.
Okay. Oh, geez, Michelle.
Okay. This was when I first moved to New York. And I told you when I first moved to New York. So, you're a crier. I'm a crier.
Yeah, we're criers. Yeah.
That's fine. I when I first moved to New York, I was really unhappy. And my parents came to visit for a weekend, say at a wedding, and their friends actually said like, oh, you can come to the wedding. Like we have an open space. So I actually wore one of my mom's dresses, and I was like very emotional, I guess, because not so much about the wedding. I barely knew the people, but I was like watching their first dance and I was sobbing. I think it was because I was upset.
Waterworks over here. Waterworks.
Yeah. We were joking, and that like we still joke about it to this day, because like I was probably in the video and like they're probably like just see this girl crying and they're probably like, who is that? Like, she must have been like really close to you, like this very emotional, like, and so they're probably like, I have no idea who that is.
That's so funny. That's like out of a movie or something.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That is so good. Oh man, the good stuff. We just watched Father of the Bride a couple nights ago, and that's a classic one to go back to, like wedding mishaps and I don't know, comedy of errors, as they say, right? But that's a good one, Michelle.
Yeah. I was just sobbing.
I think, sometimes when you're just already in a really fragile state.
Yes.
Like that, anything's going to make you cry. That makes sense. But on their tape, their home tape, I don't know. You might have to explain.
That must have been like a really good friend. Like, who was that again?
That's so funny. I know what you mean,
wasn't
though.
Even invited. Yeah. Like, so anyway, all right, let's go through this.
Okay.
You said, I'd never seen him so happy. And I said, you think this could be it? Right. So,
and again, yeah. The big relationship, the big one, right? I do. I mean, it's definitely getting serious. Again, very, very common. I feel like that's also something that moms would say, right? Parents, like an older generation might say that, getting serious, right? Yeah. It sounds kind of something, not so much like millennials that would say that, or Gen Z, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I had to think about that, but for sure. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then I said, I bet they make it official by next June. So I could have been talking, if they weren't like an official couple, I could have been talking about that, but it sounds like they already are. So it sounds like I'm saying, I bet they
get married,
get engaged, get married, whatever
it
is.
So make it official could mean different things at different stages.
Right.
So if you're just dating, first 5 dates, make it official kind of means you had that conversation.
Right.
Like, are we exclusive, or are you my boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
Yep.
Then the next stage is getting engaged, right? Yeah. / married. Same idea. Yeah.
Right. So, and then you said, for sure they will end up together. So you could have said wind up or end up, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately be together.
Yep. And then the last phrase, the phrase that all the rom-coms are built on, right? It's definitely the one. The one. Michelle, here's a deep question. Do you think that there is a one? Oh, you knew that question would happen.
I thought about asking you that question.
I got to you first.
The episode. Yeah, you got to me. You got to me first, because I was going to teach soulmate, and then I think we'd done it. Do I think there's the one? I think it is probably ridiculous to think that there's only one person in the entire world that you can be very happy with.
Yeah.
But realistically, but I do think that there are people who are especially suited for you. And I feel fortunate that I've met that person for me.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I think that it can't be true that there's only one person that could ever make you happy, right? It just can't be. It wouldn't be fair. Things happen in life, right? So we need to be able to move on, and the heart can love again. But I do feel like when you do meet that person, it's like something clicks and you're like, this person it does feel like they were meant for you.
Right. So it's true. Like you can't imagine being with someone else.
No. Exactly. That's good stuff. Well, so for all our listeners that are out there looking for that love, it's coming for you. Yes. We know it. And now you guys have the skills to have these conversations, especially about your friends who are dating someone that it looks like it could be the one, right?
The one. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, everyone, good luck in your relationships, finding love, whatever it is.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, Michelle, I'll talk to you very soon. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.